All right, well, we're heading off on another next moto adventure. Just a short one today. Grant, give a wave. Yeah, we're going to do a bit of a review of the R1250 GS Adventure, my new bike. Talk about some of the things that I like and some of the things that I don't like. Tell you what, there's not too much not to like about this bike, that's for sure. But anyway, we'll head off and hit a few of the twisties and have a bit of fun.
Alright, so I've set Paul the task. Basically 5 things that he found better than his old R1200 GSA, and 5 things that he thinks aren't as good. So Paul's got the list. Let her rip.
It was an easy task to find 5 things that I like better on the R1250 GSA compared to the R1200. There's a lot of things over those years have improved, and so yeah, I could find 20 things, you know, that would be better. But the 5 things
50.
that I probably could, yeah.
Probably find 50 things.
Like, I mean, I just, you know, I love the bike so much.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's easy to find things that you love over than things that you don't love. But we'll go through, I guess, the 5 real big ticket items that I find are a big difference compared to the R1200. And let me preempt in saying that I love my 1200 as well.
Yeah.
And had it not have been stolen and wrecked, I probably would still have that bike. You know, it gave me a good excuse to upgrade. So number one, definitely the TFT screen and the connectivity with your phone. It just works really, really well. Yep. The amount of data you can get out of that TFT, mind-blowing. You know, to the point where just little things like, you know, you want to pump up your tyre pressures to the right tyre pressures, right? So you can have it on that screen, and it'll actually, as you're pumping up, it'll actually go up, and you can see exactly what your tyre pressure is when you finish, rather than kind of hit and miss with the pressures on the at the survey. Number 2, hill hold. I mean, that's just a big, you know, when we were stopped at the lights there, yeah. I've just had it in neutral, had hill hold on, and even though it was a slight decline, bike didn't go anywhere. Notice you still had to hold on to your bike.
Yep.
No hill hold. So that is a big feature. Again, other things that have improved, the quick shifter, and I just use that, you know, all the time. I rarely use the clutch now. It's really just a stop when I use it.
And it's handy for you too, particularly because you've had your elbow replacement. You can see Paul's scar there. He's had a full elbow replacement surgery.
2 of them.
So having a quick shifter is a big assistance, isn't it?
It really is. I mean, I can use the clutch and all that, okay, but it's just, you know, I guess the real difference is when you come into a corner hot, you can quickly go down a couple of gears with your foot without having to, you know, release, you know, with your clutch. You've got that extra second or two that you're pulling in the clutch, changing, releasing, pulling in the clutch, changing, releasing, you know. Whereas, or if you go down a couple of gears, then you've got that compression lock up, you know. Whereas this thing, bang, 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 and you're in the right gear, it engine brake and pulls you up. There's no compression lock up. I love it. The modes, being able to select different modes on the fly, really, really handy. Particularly things like rain mode, you know, where if you're riding along, you've got normal road mode on, and all of a sudden you get held in the downpour, you can quickly just select rain mode and know you're going to be in the right throttle, ABS, traction control, everything is set for rain.
Yeah, you feel a lot more confident.
You do, you really do. Yeah, it won't, you know, nothing will happen.
Difference.
Being able to turn off traction control on the fly.
Yep.
For you and me, who, you know, we pretty much do a fair bit of off-road wherever we can, and quite often we'll be going along the road and we'll turn off onto a dirt road and all of a sudden there's a big steep incline and you know, to be able to turn that traction control off. Previously on the 1200 I'd have to stop the bike, turn the traction control off, and then off we go again. Not always possible if you get caught on a hill and you've got traction control on. You know, how many times have I stacked because of that, you know, because it just slips, or you're doing a water crossing. And,
water crossing, you know, is another spot.
So that being able to do that on the fly, big advantage. So that's the 5 big things for me. I mean, there's there are 100 things, you know, that I could find that I love about it. But again, not to say that the 1200 was a great bike, and it had a lot of things that I liked about it too. What don't I like about this bike? Not much. But I do have 5 things. The big one for me, my biggest dislike of this bike, is the side stand. The side stand stands up too straight in my book. Like, this is on a slope, sloping downwards, so it's actually in the right position now. But ordinarily, if you've got it, it just stands up too straight for me and doesn't always give me confidence that the bike, like, I've got to find the right spot to park the bike. It won't just sit on any, you know, any sort of direction. The seat is not as comfortable on this bike as it was on the last bike. The last bike, the 1200, I could sit on that seat, I could ride 1,000 kilometres and not get none bump. It was just, I loved it. You could ride it all day. This one, yes, it's comfortable, but it's not as comfortable. Having said that, I like the fact that it's a heated seat. So so
on a day like today.
But I don't like it. But a day like today, having the heated seat, great thing, right? So that's another pro, not a con. So the con is that it's not as comfortable. So you do get a number bum. If I was going to do, you know, a long trip like we've done in the past, most of our trips are fairly long. You know, if we're going to be in the saddle for 600, 700, 800, 900 Ks, I'd probably want an air hawk or something like that. There's some extra cushioning, because I don't think it's as comfortable, or stop more frequently, you know, which you don't always have the time to be able to do that. So that's number 2. And I really struggle to just find. I'm nitpicking, right?
Yeah,
so really
that's why I only gave you 5. You wouldn't be able to get 10.
I would struggle to get 10. I think.
You would struggle to get 10, But well, it's an evolution, isn't it? You know,
on the
last
TFT,
bike,
it doesn't show you on the front screen. It doesn't show you your temperature gauge. Like, there's no temperature gauge unless I go into a number of settings to actually find that. Is that a big thing?
No, not really. No. Whereas it was displayed all the time on your old bike.
All the time on the old bike. On most bikes, you've got a temperature gauge, and you know, and a bit of a comfort thing that you know you can kind of see that as long as your temperature's okay, you're right. And I have had, and I guess it's probably not as important on these bikes because they're water cooled rather than my old bike was oil cooled. And a number of times I've gone through Sydney and
I see you're talking about engine temperature.
Temperature.
Sorry. I thought you were talking about ambient air temperature.
No. It shows me the ambient air temperature, but it doesn't tell me engine temperature. So I can't see if the bike was to overheat. I mean, I imagine there'd be sensors and be warnings going off everywhere. So it's not such a big thing, but on the previous bikes, it always showed your engine temperature. You know. And I've had times on the 1200 where I'd gone through Sydney at 40-degree heat, and when you're in traffic, it gotten quite high previously, where I had to the point where I had to pull over, wait for it to cool down, and then go again. You know, so when you're driving out on the highway, it's never an issue. But in built-up traffic, the oil cooled weren't great. You know, they don't like traffic. So that's that. The handguards are flimsy and they bend, and we're talking the OEM ones. Not a problem now because I've changed to bark busters, as you can see. Look sexy on the bike too, don't they?
They do.
Hey? But that was, you know, if I'm to find things that I don't like about it, that was one of the things that I didn't necessarily like, that they were so. Even the OEM ones on the 1200 are very sturdy. They're not bark busters. They don't have a rigid, but they're very sturdy. And if you drop them, they don't flex. They don't, they protect, and they're quite big too. Whereas the OEM ones are quite small, very similar to the VPS guards there. So there's that. And the last thing is, and again, very little nitpick, but replacing the air filter on these things a lot harder to get at compared to, the last one you'd pull off a side panel, hook a couple of clips, and out she comes. Very easy to replace, very easy to clean. This thing you've actually got to take off the whole front cover, and then there's another cover that you've got to access in there to get at it, and it's difficult. It's probably take an hour.
Yeah, really.
To get to, and then you got the fiddly trying to get all the little screws and that all back to line up properly, because they're all body those body clips. Nowhere near as good, but that look, again, it's only a little thing. But a nitpicky. Does it really bother me? How often do you have to change your air filter? No, almost. Bugger. I mean, this bike will be done via the dealer anyway. So it's not something that I really have to worry too much about. So there's my five things that I dislike and 5 things that I like. And I absolutely love the bike. So in terms of riding it and how it rides, I love the fact that it rides the same as my old 1200, but it's better than, it rides actually better than the old 1200. Feels the same, but the nimbleness and it's just an exciting bike to ride. I love everything about it.
Very good. Thank you, Paul.
You're welcome.
Okay, that's it.